Now, this is where the compassion is most needed because leaving is not easy. An environment where you are spiritually entangled, it's not easy to leave. So, I will try to explain why people stay in spiritual communities that is actually harming their spiritual life, their mental health, and their overall well being. So first of all, the first phenomena that is called sunk cost fallacy. If you have heard about it, it's the phenomena where someone continues to stay and continues to invest in an environment which is actually harming them instead of yielding something from it. So when even if followers understand that this place is harmful for me and it's not nourishing my spiritual health or my emotional or mental health, and it's actually harming me in all ways, but still they continue to stay because they have invested so much of their money, their time, their energy, even their relationships, and everything in that place. So the mind resets the reality so that you can cope with that feeling. You know that it's not helping you, but you still stay there because your mind fools you that maybe if you stay, things will get better. That's what I am coming to next, the hope attachment. People keep thinking that now maybe I will now transform, maybe I'm just not trying hard enough, and that is what is told to you over and over whenever you face any problem, whenever you are having any doubts, any question, whenever something feels off and you try to think about it. It is always about you. It is always made about you. You are not being serious enough, you are not putting your best efforts, you are not trusting us enough, and you are not serious enough, and you are not loyal enough. Anything, if you are facing any problem, it is always about you. The problem is always about you. So over the time you internalize these critical thoughts and they become your own. So whenever you think that I'm not being transformed and I'm getting harmed and I must leave, then the first thought, the first automatic thought that comes is that maybe I'm just not trying hard enough and that's why I'm failing. So hope keeps them invested. Then the intermittent reinforcement that I've talked about in previous videos. When you have a hope that something nice might happen, and you don't know, it can't be predicted, you don't exactly know what exactly you can do to feel good, to have a good moment, to have a moment of fulfillment in an environment. But you know that it might happen because it has happened in the past, just like it happens in gambling. You might win at any moment, you don't know. So you keep investing your money, your time, hoping that for that one moment of victory. The same thing happens in toxic relationships, in toxic environments. There is because there is occasional praise, emotional highs, spiritual experiences. So your brain keeps you hooked. The brain keeps you hooked, and you keep on trying. It's like running in a hamster wheel. You keep running because you're hoping maybe someday something nice will happen. Maybe I'll have a moment of spiritual high, and maybe this time it will last longer. Maybe if I work harden and become more loyal and obey more and be more of a yes man, maybe these moments of happiness and spiritual highs will come more frequently and they will last longer and they will be more intense than before. So this hope keeps your brain hooked. Then identity fusion, when we become member of a group who is very highly cohesive and also is cult kind of, then our identity gets fused with the groups. Over the time we forget what we actually value, what we actually like or dislike, what my values are, what my preferences are, what my priorities are. You gradually learn to forget them and try to own the priorities, the values, the purpose and identity and everything of the group. So you adopt group's identity and you lose yours. And I'm telling you, even after leaving such groups, people have to heal for so long to once again get connected to themselves. Since you are not allowed to be in touch with yourself, you're not allowed to think critically, you're not allowed to make decisions for yourself, you're not allowed to question, to doubt, or in short, I would say you're not allowed to be in touch with yourself. You are encouraged to be a part of the group. So you don't remain an individual anymore, but become a unit of the group. So your identity become attached to the identity of the group. So leaving feels like losing everything. I know people who were part of such groups, and when they left, they feel like they don't know who they are. It's like they are shell of who they are. They've lost everything. They don't know what they actually like or want to do, what their values are, what their preferences are, what their purpose in life. Most importantly, when you become member of a cultic group, the only purpose of life remains to be a part of that group, to think about expanding that group, recruiting more people, spreading the message of that group. And you do not have any individual purpose in life. The only purpose of life is the group's purpose. So now just imagine when someone leaves such group, they can't even recall what they were actually before becoming part of that group, what I actually wanted in my life, what I actually liked, what I was skilled at, what I wanted to do, what gave me pleasure. They forget everything. And sometimes people do lose connection with such groups, and after that they feel so lost, they sometimes become suicidal. And then shame and guilt, it's always there. Even when things are nice, shame and guilt is always there, because in cultic communities these are primarily used for manipulating, for making people do what they want them to do. So instead of encouraging, motivating, and setting positive examples, guilt and shame are frequently used to make people do what they are required to do. And if someone tries to leave or even thinks about leaving, it is always framed as betrayal, failure, spiritual weakness, a moral failing. And the emotional weight that comes from these type of labels, it keeps people stuck. So if someone is going through a lot of pain and they think about leaving, then they will have to go through more pain. So yes, it's like being born again. You have to go through a very constricted path, which will give you a lot of pain, emotional pain, and also fear of some sort of spiritual loss. So people are so afraid of the outside world because it's already portrayed as dangerous, and they are also afraid of the pain and the shame and the fear that they might have to go through. And so what they do is, to feel safe, their brain keeps them fooling, their brain keeps them hooked to those moments of hope. So there is an illusion, and it is also reinforced by the toxic leaders, by the group itself, that if you stay, things will change, things will get better. And right now things are not good for you because it's your fault. If you like this video, please share it with someone who needs to know about this, and subscribe to my channel to know more about spiritual abuse, how it is caused, how it looks like, and how you can heal from it. Bye.